A little hot. Welcome to Synthetic Oil Protection. I'm your host, Eben, your oil and lube specialist. Today we're going to be putting in these proprietary products, but before we put them in, new to the channel, definitely subscribe and tap this little notification bell here. We got to drain the coolant. Now we're going underneath the car, and you're going to see right here, there is a valve on the radiator. Right here on the back side of the radiator, this valve right here is just a half turn, and you just turn this little valve right here, and as you turn that, it's going to leak out this little hole right here. All right, we're just unthreading it. Should slowly start to drain. And now we're going to unthread it until it comes out. A little hot, we're gonna let it go for a sec. And now we're gonna relieve pressure up top, pop your hood, and you open up your cap. If you have a very hot coolant system, obviously don't open the cap. Let the car be warm when you change it, is the best way. If it's hot, it can steam up and spritz you, so you definitely don't wanna get coolant in your face. So we're gonna go ahead and just open our cap here. Right here. Car's been turned off for about 10 minutes, so we're good. Here we go. Just wipe her off, she looks good. You always want to check your O-ring for corrosion. This right here can get cracked or corroded. If it does, you replace the entire cap. Now that it's slowed down, I'm just gonna take this valve all the way out, just show you what it looks like. We're just still unthreading it. Ooh, it's a little hot. Wow. She's still good and hot, but no big deal. Pull back, you'll notice we got the car tilted towards where the drain plug is. So when your coolant system like this holds 11.9 quarts, when you tilt the car, you're gonna get the most of it out. Most cars, you're gonna get about half to 3/4 of the total fill out. So if this car holds 12 quarts, you're gonna get about 6 to 9 quarts out. The rest is actually inside the block and in the heater core. Take a look here. This would be called the engine block. All through in and around here, the coolant flows around the cylinders, which cools the combustion chambers and allows the car to run cooler and make more power. And then the heater core is usually back in here somewhere. And then the fan blows the hot air into the cabin. So that heater core holds coolant, the block holds coolant. So if your car, you know, it's gonna have some of that in there. So don't be alarmed when you don't get all the coolant out, that's normal. And how we resolve that with distilled water, we're gonna drain and fill it a couple times with this fresh distilled water. This has no metals in it like magnesium, calcium, and potassium and sodium. Those are all metals that are common in tap water. Well, you're not gonna have that in distilled water. It's not gonna corrode the coolant system. It's gonna protect it exponentially better. So always use that when you flush out your radiator. I noticed a little bit of residue inside this bottle. I'm just gonna take it out and shake it out with some distilled water, get it nice and clean. This right here is our little teeny petcock that came out. Most important thing when you're looking at this is this little teeny black O-ring that goes around. That right there is a very malleable, soft rubber. And the most important thing is that that's not cracked or corroded and has any white calcification around it. Since it looks good, we're gonna reuse it. If it's not right, you gotta get a new O-ring or just get a new little petcock screw. And this just screws in very lightly. You don't manhandle this. Once this bottoms out and it's all the way in, that's it. It's not about how tight. This is what seals it. It has nothing to do with these threads. When you tighten it up, you just tighten it about 3 pound-feet of torque, which is like that right there. And that's it, that's all you do. Got a little bit of stuff in here. Not the end of the world, but you know what? Since we're doing it, we're going all the way, what the heck, we might as well do it the best we can. Calcium can do to metal and how it corrodes. Got her nice and full. Throw our cap on, give her a little shake. Yep. Let's give her a little shakeroo. Let's see how much she takes. She should take about half to 3/4 of the total fill. So that should be about 2 gallons, which is 8 quarts. The total fill is 12 quarts on this car. Let's see what she takes. All right, it's time to go ahead and start her up. We're gonna turn the heat on high and also high vent coming out of the vents. Just like this, we start her up. And now we're gonna go to the heat, go on high, right here. High heat, high vents. All right, and we got it coming out of the front vent. We're gonna make sure she gets up to operating temperature. We got 1 gallon in. Now we're gonna put in our 2nd gallon. Most cars are self-burping. That means it circulates fine. Sometimes you have to massage the hoses. So you grab this hose and just squeeze the hose right here. Squeeze this hose and just keep massaging it until the air blows hot out of the vents. If the air isn't blowing hot out of the vents, that means you have an air bubble and you have to keep adding water and massaging it until it opens. Alrighty, we got all 3 drain and fills right here. This is the first 8 quarts that came out, the second 8 quarts, and this, the last 8 quarts. I'm happy with that. It's time to put in the good stuff. We're gonna use our parts cleaner to get rid of that residual coolant. That way you don't have that smell underneath your car. All right, it's time to go ahead and put in our Dominator Coolant Boost. This right here is a proprietary tri-tiered surfactant. That's right, there's 3 tiers that are in this chemical. It's proprietary technology. So this isn't like what you get in the store. The first tier allows your car to warm up to, say, if you're starting it at 0 degrees, 0 to about 100 degrees. Then the other tier is 100 to about 200. And then there's another tier that's designed for 212 and up, basically the real peak high temperature. And that's how it can actually lower your operating temperatures up to 25 degrees. And that's by allowing the water molecules to get closer to the aluminum. So instead of the water molecules laying like this, they lay like this, where they touch. And when it has a better contact patch, it can pull more heat out of the cylinders. The less heat, you can have more air go in because the cylinder temperatures are lower. The more air that goes into the combustion chamber, the more fuel you can burn, which is a damn good thing. You can make more power, and that's what we're doing. So with this concentration ratio of about 12 quarts, we're gonna put about 17 ounces of this in. This, you wanna use 1 ounce for every ounce, every quart of 50-50. You wanna use 2 ounces in straight distilled water. Since we're gonna be running a special formula here for Las Vegas, which is gonna be 66% distilled water and 33% concentrate, all you do is push down in the middle, peel, and taco. Just like that, just peels right off. So this is our 16 ounces going in. And this also protects seals, and it's compatible with all other coolants in colors. So if you have a car that you have brand new, you can add this to your brand new car. It's gonna help it run more efficiently, and it also will warm up to 54% quicker. So this also helps in the cold. You'll get a much better heat transfer, and the heat will come out significantly better out of your vents in your car. So you're gonna love that when it's cold out. Now we're putting in our antifreeze coolant concentrate. It's proprietary technology. The specific name is propylene glycol. That's the chemical. And this is actually a huge upgrade over what comes in all vehicles. So all the vehicles, they usually come with this OEM style coolant. It's got a bad odor to it, and it's very, it's kind of rough in feel. This is very slippery. It also meets and exceeds all your 18-wheeler specifications: Cummins, PACCAR, diesel, Peterbilt, John Deere. So this is good for all vehicles. You can add this to any vehicle. And up front, you're gonna think this costs a lot of money, but it's actually less, because since this is a concentrate, this is a lot more expensive than a 50-50 because it's already mixed with distilled water. But this, you mix it to the ratio you want. And how it's significantly less money, it's good for up to 5 years or 150,000 miles on passenger light cars and trucks. On 18-wheelers, it's good for 1 million miles. So if you want 8 years or 1 million miles on an 18-wheeler, that's how good this product is. And it meets the GM heavy-duty specs and everything else. And now you're gonna see, this is another fluid that I like to call on the channel the liquid gold. We're just gonna poke in, and we can just peel, super easy. And now you're gonna see this beautiful, beautiful gold. And we're gonna run 66% distilled water, 33% concentrate. So we're gonna put 1 whole gallon in because this is a 11.9 gallons, which is basically 12 quarts, should I say. So we're just gonna, and you'll feel when I actually take this and go in between my fingers, it almost looks like oil. And this also helps with anti-cavitation properties on inside your cylinders, and your gaskets will last longer, and your water pump will last longer with this. So if you want your car to last way longer, you really want to get this right away. Even if you have a brand new car, put it in right away. Some added benefits you can get from this product: your engine will rev quicker. It actually, throttle response is better. Notice it'll run cooler, which will help with carbon inside your motor. Since you're not running as hot, you're not gonna burn as much oil. So this all around is exponentially gonna extend the life of your motor. You're also gonna feel it. You're gonna feel the wheel horsepower difference too. You're also gonna notice a little bump in torque because your motor doesn't run quite as hot. With that added torque, it's actually gonna change the way it shifts. So if you have an automatic car, you'll notice it'll shift a little earlier, which is also going to transfer into a little bit better fuel mileage. So it's something that's really significant. We're doing our final top off with distilled water. Everything's looking good. I recommend when you fill it, you do a little bit of water, then a little concentrate, then a little water, and go back and forth. It'll mix a lot better. That way you won't have it get stuck, because we just had it get stuck with the thermostat and it didn't open up. So I highly recommend just mix it. All right, so this car is a 12-quart system, and the specific heat capacity of coolant concentrate is 0.6, so that's 0.6. And the specific heat capacity of distilled water is 1. So water actually is a better conductor and holds more heat physically, as in physics, than the concentrate. So when you run 50-50, that leaves you a specific heat capacity of about 0.8, where when you run 66% distilled water, that's going to bump your specific capacity from 0.8 to about 0.88, almost 0.9. And so now when we're here in Las Vegas at a little bit over 2,000 feet above sea level, this radiator actually is choked out because there's not as much air hitting it. And so it actually runs hotter. But by us actually mixing this with more distilled water, it's actually increasing the overall heat holding capability of this radiator and coolant system. And by doing that, that makes us almost like we're down at sea level. So this car is going to run cooler here in the thinner air, and that's going to translate to better fuel mileage. So you're going to burn the fuel easier with more moles of oxygen going into your combustion chamber. And it's also going to allow you to make better horsepower, which is a good thing. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe and tap this little notification bell here. And hey, give it a like at the end of the video if you like it. We're going to be optimizing the efficiency of this radiator. That's right, we're going to be spraying this right there on the fins. And just like the coils on your air conditioner unit on your house, same thing with your car. This is a self-cleaning formula. You just give it a really good shake. You can do this every year. You can do this every time you go through a lot of bugs, whenever you want. And this also has an anti-corrosion inhibitor, which is also going to help your coolant system. I'll show you before I start spraying what it looks like. And we'll take the camera right here, give you a little deep dive, show you exactly what we're looking at. And you're going to see all these little stones, bug guts up there. You're also going to see lots of debris from the freeway. All that gets lodged up there. And that's actually suffocating the cooling ability of your system. So over time, you actually lose power, you lose cooling efficiency. How do you restore that? By cleaning it. We're going to go ahead and expire this entire can here. And we're just going to start in. Here we go. Bottom. And if you see rocks that are really big, you can also take those out with a little pick. You can use a little pick. You can use tweezers if you can get to them. And this will actually get rid of grime, dust, pollen, sap, tar from the road. There's many other cleaners you can use, like Simple Green and other things. However, This has an anti-corrosion inhibitor, which is a beautiful benefit. And yeah, like I said, you want to use the best product you can. I find this to be the easiest to use, and I find it to have the best results. You can get this at your Lowe's or Home Depot. Just wrapping up our second can, we'll show you what we got here. All right, that's what she looks like up in there after we sprayed her with both cans. We're gonna go ahead and rinse her off just to get a little extra residue and bug guts and pollen. But always be careful, stay away from all your electrical connectors. Don't go near those. And so we're gonna go ahead and just rinse her off really lightly. It's not about high pressure. It's just about getting the residue off. That's all it is. Got this right here. Spiders and cobwebs and pollen. By us cleaning this radiator, we are keeping your vehicle protected by the #1 killer, that's carbon buildup. When your engine runs hotter, it doesn't burn as efficiently, and it actually leaves a lot more carbon. So by getting rid of all that buildup, all those caterpillars, bugs, wasps, all these things that are stuck in there, that can actually clog the airflow through that radiator by 20–30%. So if you think of that radiator holding 12 quarts of coolant, you're actually decreasing the capacity of cooling capacity by 20–30%. That's like this having like an 8-quart cooling system. So that's really small. And so a lot of people, they don't understand why their transmission runs so hot. They don't understand why their car runs really poor as it ages. And that's because all these things get dirty. And so by us cleaning this and also adding better coolant than what came in this car, with more distilled water, this car actually runs better than brand new, makes more torque, more horsepower. We've actually done dyno videos with fuel additives in the channel showing the more horsepower than brand new. If you want to see that, see it down in the comment description section. But we're going to show you now how clean this is. Come on over, take a look. We're all the way up there. And over there, we got a little bit more stuff we can get out. But as you can see, it's a lot cleaner. This is going to be a lot more efficient. And you can see here how clean it is. Much improved airflow. All right, we got done with the coolant, and man, it's a lot smoother. I noticed the motor's quieter, and under the curve, which actually we haven't revved it out yet, but under 2,000, I'm feeling 7 to 11 rear wheel torque more by the heat transfer, pulling the heat out of the aluminum, and the distilled water having a higher specific heat capacity than the lubrosity of the concentrate. And then of course you got the tri-tiered surfactant of the Dominator Coolant Boost, so it's big difference. So definitely, if you love this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite coolant is you've ever tried. If you want to try the products, you can get them right here at syntheticoilprotection.net, and we'll do a little roll up here. Let's see how she sounds. Oh yeah, she sounds good. We'll see you back next time right here on Synthetic Oil Protection. Check out this video here, and we'll do a cheers for always using protection. That's right, when you use protection, your vehicle will run better than brand new. We'll see you back next time right here on Synthetic Oil Protection.